Hello everyone, we will be studying Organizational Behaviour Unit 1, Organizational Behaviour, Definition, Need and Importance of Organizational Behaviour, Nature and Scope, Framework, Organizational Behaviour Models. These are the topics that we will be covering. So first is definition. Organizational behaviour is the study of human behaviour in an organization. It focuses on how individuals, groups and structures influence behaviour within an organization. So what is organizational behavior? It is study of human behavior, how a human behaves in an organization. Organization is nothing but a company. Okay, so how it focuses on how individuals, groups and structures influence behavior within an organization. How a person behaves in a group, behaves in a company. Main aim, it is to understand, explain, predict and control human behavior at work so organizational goals can be achieved effectively. So what is the main aim? Is to understand a person's behavior so that we can predict their behavior What is the main aim? It is to understand a human behavior so that organizational goals can be achieved effectively. In simple terms, organizational behavior studies how people behave at work, why they behave in a certain way and how managers can manage people better. It combines knowledge from psychology, sociology, anthropology and management to understand employee behavior. So in simple terms, we understand how a person behaves in an organization and why do they behave in a certain way and how can manager handle people better, so that it can help in company's growth. So the need, next topic is need for organizational behavior. Why do we need organizational behavior? Organizations are made up of people and managing people is one of the most difficult tasks. So here organization means nothing but a company. Okay, so company is made of people. There are so many people, okay, who works there, and managing them is difficult task. So there we need this organizational behavior. So first thing is to understand human behavior. Obviously, if a person is working in a company, we need to understand them so that we can communicate properly with them. Every person has different attitude, personality, perception and motivation. Organizational behavior helps managers to understand these differences and handle them. So okay, in a company there are so many people from different backgrounds, different religions and different places, and they have different attitude, personality, perception about things, and to understand those we need organizational behavior. To improve employee performance, by understanding employee needs and behavior, managers can design jobs, reward systems and work environments that improve performance and productivity. So if you understand an employee, what they need, and their behavior, manager can give them particular job, a suitable job, so that they can work properly. So if there is a company and if you can understand that person's need, or you can understand what that person is good at and you give them that suitable job, they'll do it properly, and that will lead to increasing their performance. Next is to manage diversity. Many people are from different cultures, ages, genders and backgrounds. Organizational behavior helps managers to manage this and avoid conflicts. Okay, so people are from different ages and genders, backgrounds, culture. So we need organizational behavior to understand all these people and manage them. Next, to improve communication. Organizational behavior improve communication between employees and management, which reduce misunderstanding and confusion. Okay, to reduce the confusion and misunderstanding, we need this. To handle change effectively. Organizations frequently face changes due to technology, competition and globalization. Organizational behavior helps employees accept and adapt to change easily. So in a company there will be many changes going on every now and then. That may be because of technology or competition or globalization, and we need this so that there will be a better communication between the employee and the employer, and they can adapt to the changes easily. To reduce workplace conflicts. Conflicts are common in organizations. Organizational behavior helps managers identify causes of conflicts and resolve them in a healthy way. So to resolve the conflicts also we need organizational behavior. Now next topic is importance of organizational behavior. Why is it important? It helps in effective leadership. So for leaders, for managers, they need organizational behavior so that it helps in effective leadership. Organizational behavior helps managers understand different leadership styles and choose the best one according to situation. So if any conflict is going on, so if the manager understands a person's behavior, they can solve the conflict depending on the situation. Okay, next, enhances job satisfaction. When employees feel understood and valued, their job satisfaction increases. So when manager talks to the employees and understands them, and employees feel understood, they can work more, they feel more motivated. That will lead to job satisfaction. Next, increases motivation. Organizational behavior helps managers motivate employees using both financial and non-financial rewards. So this also helps in increasing motivation, where managers motivates employees by giving them financial and non-financial rewards. Next, improves organizational culture. Organizational behavior helps in creating a positive, ethical and supportive work culture. So when everyone can communicate with each other properly and understand it, that creates a positive and supportive work culture. Achieves organizational goals. When employees work efficiently and happily, organizational goals are achieved easily. So when the employee is working properly in a company and is satisfied, and their performance is increased, that leads to the increase of performance of the company as well. When all the employees work with great efficiency, it increases the efficiency of the company as well. Next, organizational behavior models. So here we have different models. Organizational behavior model helps how management and employees interact in an organization. First is autocratic model. The autocratic model is based on power, authority and control. Managers have full authority and employees are expected to follow orders without question. So in autocratic model, whatever managers tells to the employee, they have to listen and follow. Employees cannot have a say at that place. What are the features of autocratic model? Is centralized decision making. So only the manager can make the decisions. Strict supervision. One-way communication. Whatever the manager tells, that has to be listened. Employees are dependent on managers. What will be the effect of this autocratic model? Is low motivation. Obviously a person cannot always listen to someone and do work, right? Low job satisfaction. No one will be satisfied when this kind of environment is created, and high frustration obviously. Next is custodial model. This model focuses on economic security of employees. Organizations provide good salary, benefits and job security. So in simple terms, the best example of custodial model is government jobs. Okay, what happens there? There will be security. Features: employees feel safe and secure. Obviously in government jobs they feel secure. Dependence on organization rather than the manager. Passive cooperation. What will be the effects of this? Is moderate motivation and lack of innovation, right? Next is supportive model. The supportive model is based on leadership and employee support. Managers encourage and support employees. So in supportive model, the managers support all the employees and encourages them. What are the features of this? Open communication. So managers and the employees can communicate openly and freely. Leadership instead of authority. Employee participation. What are the effects of this? High job satisfaction. So when both the parties, employee and the managers, can communicate properly and work together, then there will be high job satisfaction, improved performance. Next is collegial model. The collegial model treats employees as partners. Teamwork and cooperation are encouraged. So in this model, all the people in the company are treated equal. They are treated as team partners. Features: shared responsibility, mutual respect, self-discipline. So when you treat someone as equal, there will be shared responsibility and also respect will be increased and discipline will be more. Effects: high morale, strong teamwork. Next is system model. The system model focuses on trust, ethics, and shared values. Employees feel emotionally connected to the organization. So in this model, it focuses on the trust and the values of the employees, and in this, employees also feel connected to the organization. What are the features of this? High trust, ethical environment, employee empowerment. What will be the effects? Commitment, high performance, employee satisfaction. Okay, next we have nature of organizational behavior. Organizational behavior is study of human behavior. It is, in simple terms, it is a study of human behavior. It studies how people behave at workplace, focuses on attitude, emotion, motivation of the employees. Next is organizational behavior is interdisciplinary. It uses knowledge from many disciplines such as psychology, sociology, anthropology, management. Psychology means to understand a person to understand individual behavior, to understand a person's behavior. Sociology means to understand a person in the group or to understand a group's behavior. Anthropology means to understand the culture. Management, to apply behavior knowledge practically. Next, organizational behavior is both science and art. It is goal oriented and also it is dynamic in nature. Organizational behavior is humanistic approach, is a humanistic approach. That means it treats employees as humans and not as machines. Next topic is scope of organizational behavior. Scope explains the areas covered by organizational behavior. So scope can be studied at 3 levels: individual level, group level, and organizational level. So individual level, it focuses on personality, perception, attitude, learning, motivation, emotional intelligence, stress. Understanding individual behavior helps managers assign right job to the right person and improve. So if you understand a person at individual level, how they behave in a certain way, what's their personality type, their attitude, how well they learn, and the motivation they have, if you understand all these things, you can assign the proper role to them, which can improve the efficiency. Okay, at group level, studies how people behave in group or teams, group dynamics, teamwork, leadership, communication, power and politics, conflict management, decision making. So at group level, you can understand how a group actually behaves, how you know, the teamwork in the group and the leadership or the communication, how they behave in that. Most organizational work is done in groups. In all the companies will be working in groups and not individually. Organizational behavior helps improve cooperation and reduce conflicts. This helps in reducing conflicts. Next, at organizational level, organizational behavior at organizational level. So what happens here? We can understand the culture of the organization, structure of the organization, and whatever changes that happens, organizational development and the work environment and human resource policies. Helps organizations adopt to change and remain competitive. When we understand at organizational level, it helps to understand organization properly and adapt to the change and also remain competitive to other organizations. Next is the framework of organizational behavior. The framework of organizational behavior explains how organizational behavior works by showing the relationship between inputs, processes and outcomes at different levels. So I'll explain simple terms. Framework means, this is the framework: input, process and output. So whenever we are giving some input and process, will be getting some kind of output. So we have different inputs, processes and outputs. So inputs are the factors that influence the behavior. The types of inputs we have: individual inputs, group inputs, organizational inputs. So in individual inputs we have personality, values, attitudes, learning ability. Group inputs, group structure, leadership, team roles. In organizational inputs, organizational culture, organizational structure, HR policies. In process we have, processes are actions and interactions that takes place within the organizational. Example, that will be the motivation, communication, leadership, decision making, conflict resolution, power and influence. What will be the output? When inputs are given and the process is followed, we will be getting output. The output will be also at 3 different levels, because we have input at 3 different levels. At individual level, Outputs are results of behavior. Individual level outputs, job satisfaction, performance, commitment, stress level. At group level, team effectiveness, group cohesion, conflict levels. Organizational outputs, productivity, quality, employee retention, organizational effectiveness. So in simple terms, if I am giving input at individual level, individual input, personality, values, attitude. If I understand a person's personality, values, attitude and give them motivation according to that person and communicate with them properly, what output I'll be getting? The person will be satisfied with the job, the person's performance will be increased, they will be committed to the work, and also the stress level will be reduced. Okay, so when I'm giving group inputs, like if I understand the group structure, how they work, the leadership and the team roles, and I give the process, like if I understand them in this way, I give them motivation according to the group, according to them, and communicate with them properly, give them decision making powers, the output I'll be getting is the team effectiveness, group cohesion and conflict levels. At organizational level, if I understand organization's culture and the structure and also the HR policies, and I'm giving this process, power and influences, conflict resolution, I'll be getting the output as productivity, like the company's productivity will be increased, quality will be increased, employee retention will be increased, organizational effectiveness will be increased. Here's the example. Input, employee personality and organizational culture. So we are giving input as employee's personality and organizational culture. The process is motivation and leadership. So to a person, I'm going to a person and giving them this motivation and all the leadership qualities. What will be the output? High performance, they'll work properly, they'll be satisfied with their job. The framework of organizational behavior helps managers understand why employee behave in a certain way and how to improve outcomes by controlling inputs and process. So this framework helps us to understand why an employee behaves in a certain way, and we can control this by giving certain inputs and the processes. We can control this, we can improve these outcomes by giving them certain inputs and the processes. And this is all about Unit 1, Organizational Behavior. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.